I'm Erin Harris, and I appreciate you for taking time out of your busy week to join us today for this important hour at this Cell and Gene Live. For today's presentation, I'm joined by two subject matter experts, Raphael Ognar, President and CEO of NKILT Therapeutics, and Tracy Ryan, co-founder and CCO of NKore BioTherapeutics. We have a terrific presentation lined up, and we will get to that in just a second. First, I want to thank our sponsor as well, Thermo Fisher Scientific, for partnering with us on today's event. And I would like to strongly encourage you to submit questions for our subject matter expert panelists. With anything you'd like to ask them, we will definitely get to them throughout the hour. So please do submit them via the Q&A tool. And like I said, we will get to them as soon as we can. And let's get into it. So as the cancer immunotherapy rapidly evolves, natural killer cells are attracting both excitement for their unique therapeutic advantages and perhaps some lingering skepticism about their true clinical potential. So I want us to have a frank discussion up front about how NK cell strategies are truly evolving, where true misconceptions persist, and perhaps why a fresh approach to NK cell activation is essential for future breakthroughs. And so I have a question up top for both of our panelists, but Tracy, I'd like to start with you. What makes NK cells particularly compelling as a therapeutic platform for cancer, especially when some in the field remain skeptical about their potential?
Well, first of all, I just want to thank you for having me today, Erin. Thank you to Cell and Gene, and thank you to all the audience members for taking the time out of, I'm sure they're very busy day to have this incredible conversation with Raphael and I. I could not be more excited about where NK cell platforms are today currently. I know that there's been a lot of issues in the past with other companies and persistence and lack of toxicity. But what we're seeing in our patients specifically is very, very exciting. We are watching patients show up with horrific side effects from their existing cancer treatments, and we're watching them very quickly start to feel better. My daughter was, in fact, patient number 2. She's about to turn 13 years old here in the next couple of weeks. And these cells are so safe and have such an incredible safety profile that I felt quite comfortable with her going just 1 hour after patient number 1. Now, my daughter was in a really good state of health when she received these cells, but patient 1 wasn't. He showed up with lethargy, body pain, fatigue, just hurt all over. He couldn't walk down the beach. But by the time he'd returned home the next week, this gentleman was doing workouts 5 days a week. And in fact, my own daughter's vision is now the best it's been in 7 years, and she has a low-grade brain tumor. So where a lot of other NK cell platforms haven't been as successful, especially in solid tumors, we are starting to see efficacy, which is very, very, very exciting. I know there's been a lot of skepticism in the past, but we have over 30 years of research that has backed our technology. We've now treated 7 patients. We've given 16 infusions. And the excitement around this field, it, in my opinion, should absolutely be growing. NK cells have this incredible ability to help reestablish a functioning immune system, whereas that is one of the reasons why you get cancer in the first place, a failed natural killer cell system. So to be able to accept or receive an immunotherapy that is not only helping you to feel better, but helping to fix the core reason why you got cancer in the first place, this is a really exciting moment for me in this time, especially considering that my own daughter had failed 7 years of toxic therapies and 8 different protocols and had virtually run out of options. To see this kind of technology now start to become available to patients, even though right now we're only able to make it available to a few patients at a time, I've never been more hopeful for a future where cancer isn't such a scary word anymore.
Thank you, Tracy. And wonderful, wonderful news about your daughter. Nothing is more wonderful to hear, especially from a patient and the patient's caregivers and family. So thank you for being here and sharing your story, your daughter's story with us today, and all the information that you have to share with us. Great, great news. Raphael, I want to actually ask you the same question as well. So what makes NK cells particularly compelling as a therapeutic platform for cancer from what you and your team are doing?
Thank you, Erin. And first, again, I would also thank everybody for having me here and the opportunity to work and discuss with Tracy. Tough intro to follow, Tracy. You're raising the bar very high. I will I will look at it with maybe a different angle that will be completely complementary to what you are bringing. First, NKILT is a much earlier stage company. We are preclinical, and we are setting up to go to our first IND with hopefully getting in the clinic within 2 years. But the main thing that made us focusing on NK cells is based on three major pillars, I would say, that we believe NK cells can provide. And number one is there is research throughout the past couple of decades with incredible outcome that has been done by many groups that is showing how properly activated or properly engineered or even just properly set natural killer cells technology can have an impact in killing cancer cells. So that's the first point. And I will have to emphasize the work done by Katie Rezvani's lab, which is one of the biggest breakthrough that we have seen in the past few years, that is delivering a lot of different very positive outcome by engineering NK cells with different approaches and showing that it works. So the science is there. The second pillar is the fact that NK cells comes with some very unique properties that some other immune cells don't have. And even if I dislike to compare the immune cells between each other, there is a very interesting feature that not only they can target the cancer cells by identifying a specific target that you make them recognizing and induce a direct killing, but they also have this innate killing capability, which complements and can enhance the potential outcome and increase the number of cancer cells they can reach out to and kill. And third, the last piece is that the past decade has shown how we could really push boundaries by treating patients with technologies like autologous CAR T that are really, really having a humongous impact on patients. Unfortunately, autologous CAR T, as good as it could be, remains extremely difficult to manufacture, clearly not scalable, and in some way, it is kind of limited to a very small number of patients today. And we are trying to expand this and to go into different diseases and all this to improve the manufacturing process, but it remains very tedious, expensive, and complex. NK cells bring the opportunity to use an allogeneic approach, which is leveraging healthy donor cells that we engineer eventually and that we then bring to patients so that they can receive a proper treatment. This aspect will allow us to make these technologies scalable. And if they become scalable, they're going to be much less costly to produce and manufacture. And down the road, very likely profitable from a business standpoint. And I know we don't always like to bring the business into healthcare, but the reality is that we need money to develop drug, so we need to make money with drugs to be able to continue to develop drugs. And I think the opportunity to finally have off-the-shelf, immediately accessible cell therapy that you can deliver to patients with an efficient outcome in killing their cancer cells is something that we can do right now, right today, with allogenic technology. And if you take those three pillars together, to me, it's already strong enough as a foundation to build therapeutic options for cancer patients and beyond.